Welcome back to Thomas Reviews, where I look at Blu-rays, steelbooks and other movie-related things and review them. And this time I'll be taking the pleasure of looking at one of my favourite directors in his box set of Charlie Chaplin, The Collection. So let's take a look. This will be a perfect opportunity to explain just how much Chaplin means to me and how much of a great director I think he is. I've got the poster obviously, and I've got a cane from my costume. We even have this book, which I got pretty cheap on Amazon as well. But moving on to the box set. This is one of my favourite box sets, which I bought for about £45. And it's a complete steal what you can get it for now at £35 on Amazon. I seriously suggest getting this if you're going to watch a few of the films and you want to see more, because this is an absolutely brilliant box set and it's the cheapest way to get his movies. The distributor, Circus, they have also released the films individually. I even have the Blu-ray of one of them, which I bought before getting this box set. And if you're going to buy them individually, you're talking about £120 or so you would be spending. But here you get it all in the one box set and it's just fantastic. There's the list of the movies. You can see that. We have 12 discs in total with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of his features plus the feature called the Chapman Review, which is a compilation of short films that he done. And Chapman short films. So let's have a look inside. You see we've got a nice little artwork on each side. Nice little bit on the spine as well. And inside we have a description of the film and what's included on each disc. Each disc looks nice as well. It's the little image. Yep, and that's the inside. The bonus material you get in this box set's fantastic, and some of my favourite in any box set. And that's because of just how extensive it is. I mean, in the kid we've got a half-an-hour documentary on the making of the film and what it was like at the time trying to make it. And every film has a 6 to 10 minute introduction of the film, which is good if you're new to Chaplin and you want to learn more about him. And you'll learn some pretty interesting facts. Another good documentary was the one on Great Dictator, just showing about the difficulties in making the film. You can see there. As for the films themselves, they're all fantastic. I can't say one of them's disappointing at all. The Kid is a masterpiece, which was his first feature film at the time, made in 1921. And it's one of my favourites. The relationship between the tramp and Jackie Coogan, the child, just really touching. Woman of Paris, which was his second feature, which he did not star in for a change. However, he did make a small cameo, which you should look out for. Woman of Paris was quite an interesting experiment for a fully serious film. The Circus, which apparently was very difficult for him to make due to personal problems and such. The Circus is also very funny. City Lights is very well revered and is also a fantastic film. Not in my top 3, but top 5 definitely. City Lights tells a beautiful story about the tramp falling in love with a blind woman, and the comedy is pitch perfect in it, and it's easy to see why he's a genius. And I'd say it's an excellent film to start with on his filmography. Modern Times, my second favourite, kind of has throwbacks to some of his shorts, such as The Rink and all that. But Modern Times is just fantastic. Mid 1936, whenever sound pictures had been well thrown away with, he decided to stick with his guns and make another silent picture. However, there are still sounds and voices in it, but every voice is of that of power or that of a machine, and that itself has a political message to it. The Gold Rush, which would have been his third film, I think, is another fantastic film, full of genius comedy again, dream sequences, and the famous bread roll dance, which we try to see imitated by Johnny Depp, for instance. And yeah, that's another one of my favourites from him. Monsieur Verdoux, one of his underrated films, I would say, is also fantastic, which would have been his second talkie picture, which is again great, quite cynical, but very true. And if I skipped Great Dictator there, Great Dictator for me is my number one choice. It's his first sound film, and to me it's the end speech. Anyone that's seen the end speech, they'll understand why the film's great. And it's not just the end that makes it so great. It's just the messages within The Great Dictator are just fantastic, and there's still lots of great humour. And it's great to see how good he is doing talkie pictures, having been doing silent ones for so long. And he's definitely someone that stuck to what he knew when it came to doing slapstick comedy. Limelight is another one of my favourites, which I think is kind of underrated also, which is one of his later features telling a tragic story of a comedian performer and his struggling life. And yeah, it's very sad, and the acting's very melodramatic and kind of overdone, but I think it's great. And Buster Keaton also makes an appearance in the film, which I thought was a fantastic idea. Moving on later, we had A King in New York, which would mark one of his last features, which to me is probably one of his lesser great films, but by no means is it not entertaining. Again, he's got his strong social messages that he's trying to incorporate, and I think Chaplin gets it perfect every time. But I'll leave that to another video. And then we have the Chapman Review, which is 3 of his short films put together, including A Dog's Life and Shoulder Arms and The Pilgrim. All fantastic, and A Dog's Life is one of my favourite Chaplin films also. And then on the other disc we have Chaplin short films including The Pilgrim Again, Sunnyside, A Day's Pleasure, The Idle Class and Payday Again. All hilarious and fantastic to watch. And to me, this is definitely the essential box set for any collector who's interested in cinema. And if you don't own Chaplin's films yet, I seriously recommend that you own them. The picture quality, I didn't talk about the picture quality. The picture quality on each one is fantastic. The music's really well composed, being done by Chaplin himself in most cases. And yeah, this is definitely one you should go out and get. Yeah, well that's it really. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, just comment below and subscribe and give a thumbs up. And if you have any ideas of other box sets and special editions, such as things in the Masters of Cinema series or special edition Blu-rays, just comment below and I'll see if I can get round to them. I'd love to hear some feedback, and I'd love to hear anyone's thoughts on Chaplin, my favourite director. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.